Hope my screen is visible, Akash.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Akash, in the previous class, we talked about distributed systems. So, let us continue our discussion. Today, we will talk about relational algebra. Okay, so let's get started with relational algebra. So, relational algebra, Akash, is the mathematical or theoretical foundation for querying your databases. Okay, so you make use of SQL language to query and talk or communicate with your database, right? So the theoretical background behind this is relational algebra. And please remember, relational algebra is procedural in nature, right? And it is imperative, and it mostly uses symbols. So that essentially means that relational algebra concentrates on the how aspect of doing things, right? You focus on how things should be done rather than what, right? So as we will see later when we talk about relational calculus, right? Relational calculus focuses on the what aspect, right? So since it focuses on the procedure, right, or step-by-step instructions and how those particular instructions are executed, right? It is also sometimes referred to as imperative. And also, relational algebra, unlike languages like SQL and other programming languages, wherein you have a English-like syntax, right? So when you use a relational algebra, right, you just make use of symbols, right? You don't make use of English keywords, right? Of course, apart from any particular name, right, which essentially is an English keyword, right? So apart from that, everything are symbols in relational algebra. Next point is relational algebra. It makes use of operators, right? That operates on operands. Okay, so relational algebra, we have got certain operators that work on the operands. Or let's say, for example, in mathematics, when you do addition of two numbers, say 3 plus 4 is equal to 7, right? Your 3 and 4 are the operands, and your addition operator or the plus symbol is your operator. All right, so in relational algebra, what essentially happens is you make use of operators on relations, or sometimes called as tables. Relations and tables are sometimes used interchangeably to mean the same thing. All right, so relational algebra makes use of operators and they work on operands. One thing you need to remember that when you make use of operators and operate on the relations or tables, right, what you get back is a relationship. Okay, so the result is essentially a relationship, but what you need to also remember that the result that you get back doesn't have a name. This is very, very important, Akash. Okay, so when you make use of operator and operate on the operands, the result that you get do not have a name, right? And the next point is these operators may be unary or binary. The operators may be either unary or binary operating on the relation, right? So unary operator operate on a single relation, whereas binary operator operate on more than one relation, or essentially two relations. So far clear, Akash?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and as I have already said, this is one very, very important point that you need to remember, right? Is the output that you get when you make use of the operator and work on the operands, the output that you get is a relationship or a relation or a table without any name, right? So it doesn't have a name. The next point is relational algebra, or in relational algebra, there is no scope for duplicates because relational algebra is based on the mathematical set theory, right? And sets do not make use of duplicates. So in relational algebra, there are no duplicates allowed. Okay. Now let us see what are the various operators that are available in relational algebra, right, at a very high level. And again, let us understand these operators one by one after we look into all the operators first. All right. So basically, Akash, like you have two categories wherein you can put all these operators. The first one is the fundamental operator, or sometimes called as the core operator, right? Or the primitives, something like the base, right? So the fundamental operators are one, and the derived operators are the second aspect, right? So the derived operators, you can think of derived operators as operators that are derived from the fundamental operators, so that if you want, you can make use of the derived operators, right? So that you get much more faster or efficient results. That is the purpose of a derived operator, right? So these derived operators are also sometimes called as extended operators. They are extended from the basic or fundamental operators. So the core operators and derived operators include the select operator, right? Or sometimes specified using this particular symbol. So the symbol for the select operator is this. I think it is referred to as the sigma symbol, right? So sigma symbol, and you have got join operators, right? So join operator is a derived operator. We'll talk more about these particular operators later, but now let us get the overall taste of what are available. I'm sorry. So join operator, you have got a couple of them. It looks something like this, right? You have got natural join, right? You have got left join, left outer join essentially, right? This is called as a right outer join, and this is a complete join or a full join. We'll talk more about joins later. And then in the core operator, you have got the project operator, which is denoted using the pi symbol. And then in derived, you have got intersection operator available, right? Using this particular symbol, inverted U. And then the union operator is a core operator specified by U. And then you have a derived division operator. And then you have a difference operator specified using this symbol. All right, so these are the basic operators that you make use of in relational algebra. Understanding, Akash?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so let us now get started with the select operator and see what select operator is essentially. Yeah, there is also a product operator specified using X. All right, and a rename operator that is used to rename a relation, right? Specified using row. All right, so let us get started with the select operator. So select operator is denoted using this symbol, sigma symbol, right? As you can probably guess, right? This operator is to select something, right, from a particular relation. Think of a relation like a table, right? So when you make use of a select operator, you make use of this particular operator to select rows, right, from a particular table. You can select the columns, you can select the rows, right? As we'll see later, you make use of another kind of operator for selecting the columns. To select the columns, you make use of a projection operator that we'll talk later. But select operator is used to select rows from the table, right? So if you have a particular table and if you want to select either all the rows or particular set of rows, right, or any rows in between, right, depending upon a particular condition. Yes, of course, you need to specify the particular condition as well, right? So depending upon the particular condition, if you want to select a particular row or a group of rows, right, from a particular relation or table, you make use of the select operator. And select operator is a unary operator. It operates on a single table, right? So you specify the operator on a particular table, right? And it has got a particular syntax or a notation that we'll see with an example. And as we have seen in the previous slide, this operator, the select operator, is the fundamental base or the core operator, one of the basic operator. And again, as I have said, sorry, as I've mentioned, select operator, it selects horizontally, right? So you select your required or desired rows, or sometimes called as tuples, right? So you select your tuples or rows from a particular relation or a table that satisfies a particular predicate, or sometimes referred as a condition. So based on the condition, you select a set of rows. And the notation for using select operator is, Akash, it looks something like this, right? You make use of the operator symbol sigma, right? And then specify as a kind of, what do you say, right? In a very small case, just below your selection operator, right? Subscript kind of, right? Your condition or your predicate. So the C that you are seeing here is your condition or the predicate that you write, right? Based upon your table attributes. All right. And this condition is applied to your particular operand. Your operand is your table. So R is your relation or your table, right? So select based upon this particular condition the rows from this particular table, right? So that is the meaning of this particular notation. Understanding, Akash?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Aishwarya, are you here?
Yes, sir. I joined.
Okay, so did you join from the beginning or just now?
Yes, yes, sir. From beginning of.
Okay, so let me just continue. Akash, hope you are here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so both of you just keep this in mind. So your selection operator looks like this. You have your operator operated on your particular table or a relation on a base on a set of condition or a particular condition. This condition could be a single condition with a particular attribute, or it could be a complex condition by making use of multiple operators. That is also allowed. Point number one. Point number two, you can also have nested select operators within a select operator. That is also possible. So if time permits, we'll see an example of those things as well. Okay, so let me give you a simple example, right? So how you can make use of the select operator. Say for example, we have a table as shown below, right? And say we have a query wherein we say select all the students from this particular table, right? So select all the students, say the table name is say student, for example. So select all the student of team A specifically, right? So as we can see in this particular table, we have got how many students from team A? We have two students, right? So we need this student and this student, right? So we can make use of the select operator and retrieve this row and this row, right? So how do we do that? Using this particular syntax. So we can make use of the syntax something like this, right? And then we can say select all the students, right? So the table name is student, right? Belonging to team A. So we specify the condition here. So as you can see the condition, we make use of the attribute. One of the attribute name is team here, right? So we say team equal to A. Right, see, unlike in programming languages where you use the equality operator as double equal to, in relational algebra, you specify the equality in single equal to, you specify team equal to A. So when you make use of this kind of operation, right, what you get is a relation or a table with just two rows or with just the rows that satisfies this particular condition. Understanding, students?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that was an introduction to the select operator. We'll see more examples and more complexities or intricacies on the select operator later. But for now, we are getting an overview of the select operator that is used to select the desired rows from a particular relation or a table. So apart from these points, right, there are a couple of points as well, a couple of more points as well to remember, right? They are, see, select operator, you can map this to the where clause in SQL, right? So you might be knowing SQL query, right? So whenever you make use of a select clause, right? Say whenever you want to select something from a particular table, typically you write select this from this, right? Where this particular condition is this, right? So select operation, right? In the select operation, when you specify the where clause, you can think of the corresponding where clause that you write in your select operation, right, as equal to your sigma or your select operator. See, many people, they generally have a kind of confusion, or they sometimes think that your select is similar to the select operation in SQL. That is not the case. Okay, so keep your SQL thing separately, keep relational algebra separately, although relational algebra is the fundamental basis for SQL, right? What you need to remember here is, right, your select is, or your select corresponds to your where clause in SQL. In fact, when you say select this from this or select certain attribute names from a particular table where a particular condition is met, in fact, you are retrieving the column names. In fact, so select, you can map it to the projection aspect or the projection operator that we'll see probably either today or in the next class. Understanding, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next thing to remember is, guys, the cardinality. What do you mean by cardinality? Cardinality is nothing but the number of rows or tuples of the resulting relation, right? So whenever you perform a select operation and when you get back a relation, right, how many number of rows or tuples you have, that refers to the cardinality, right? And the cardinality for the select operation is, right, defined by this particular kind of equation, right? So the cardinality is anywhere between 0 and the relation itself, right? Or the total number of rows that is available in the given relation itself. Do you agree with this? So whenever you make use of a select operator, right, either you can have 0 rows as the output, or maximum you can have all the rows of that particular relation, or anywhere in between. Yes? Do you agree with this? Or you want to have an example, or you can visualize this?
Example, sir.
If I want to give you an example, see this slide, right? In this particular slide, say we have a simple table, right? So in this particular table, right, if I say select all the students, right, of team K, what will be my result? I will get no rows, right? So there is no team K here, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so the total number of rows will be 0 here, right? And I'm sorry. And in this particular case, when you say team A, you are just picking 2 rows, right? And maximum, say for example, if you want to pick all the rows, you specify a condition accordingly. Say for example, I can specify, if I want to pick all the rows, probably I can say sigma roll number is say less than 5. So sigma roll number less than 5 of student, that will give me all the student having roll number less than 5. And in this particular table, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will get all the rows, right? Understanding? Clear?
So,
So that is the cardinality, guys. So the cardinality can be either minimum 0 or maximum the total number of rows corresponding to the given table. So coming back to this slide, we were talking about cardinality. So cardinality is the number of tuples or rows of the resulting relationship that could be defined something like this. So the cardinality is between 0 and the total number of rows inside the particular table or the relation. The next is the degree. What do you mean by degree when you make use of a particular operator, or in fact the select operator? Degree is nothing but the number of attributes of the resulting relation. So this should be easy guess. Can you tell me what will be the degree for the select operator on a particular relationship? Degree means the number of attributes of the resulting relationship. So when you apply the select operator, how many number of attributes will you get in the resulting relation or table? What is your answer, guys? Attributes means your names, column names.
Sir, you can give required columns, whatever you have required.
Pardon?
Means n number of columns.
N number of columns. So it is the same as the columns that are available in that particular relationship. So you will get all the columns, right? Fantastic. So that is the degree. So the degree is essentially, can you say it this way? So the degree for the select operator is the same as the degree of the given relation. Am I right?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that is getting started with relational algebra, and we have seen the various operators that are available and that we can make use of, and we just had a taste of the select operator. All right, so let us stop here and continue our discussion in the next class. All right,
Next
guys.
class. Okay, sir. Next class 1 to 2, sir.
Next class, when do you have?
And time after 8:45, 8:30 to 9:30, sir. But
Okay.
the link